Hey everybody. Um, Hope you guys are all surviving quarantine. I myself am starting to get a little bit stir crazy, going on like 5 walks a day, but we'll get through it. So in this video, I just want to give you guys an update on my grading policy and the changes that we're going to have to make to grading policies in this class. And then I also want to talk about an extra credit assignment. I figured that this week was a good time to talk about these things because you don't actually have anything due this week. So first, I'm going to pull up the syllabus and really briefly talk to you about changes that we're going to have to make to what determines your grade in this class. So originally, you had reading responses, discussion outlines, and then I was also going to give you a grade for participation at the end of the semester. And then lastly, we were going to do a court case simulation at the end of the semester. Now, I know that we haven't received official word from the Riverside Community College District yet on when we will in fact be returning to school. Right now, we're supposed to remain closed until I believe April 30th. However, I'm going to take a wild guess and say we're probably not returning at all this semester. I know a lot of you might be disappointed to hear that that's the case. I'm not saying that that is in fact the official policy of the Riverside Community College District. However, I think that it's best for me to simply plan for us continuing online for the remainder of the semester. Why? Well, because I want you guys to do well in my class. And I think that it would be a disservice to you to just, for the next couple weeks, next couple months, assume that you're going to have the opportunity to accumulate points by doing your court case simulation in addition to classroom participation. So here's what I've done. Reading responses are now going to account for 60% of your overall grade, and discussion outlines are going to account for 40% of your overall grade. You guys might be kind of like, oh, what crap? No, I didn't do very well on my first reading response. Okay, don't worry. There are a bunch of different ways to get around this. Make sure that you can still do well in my class. So the first thing that I want to remind you of is you have 5 reading response opportunities, but you only have to complete 4 of them. So if you want to write all 5 reading responses, what I will do at the end of the semester is I will drop your lowest graded reading response. Okay. The second thing that I've done is I've added an extra credit assignment to the course. You can go to assignments, or you can go to your module for next week, the elections module, but I'm just going to go to assignments. And this is the first of 2 extra credit opportunities I'm going to give you guys. So this first extra credit opportunity is due on April 9th. That is when your next discussion outline is due. And then your second extra credit opportunity is going to become available to you towards the end of the semester, once you have a better idea probably of what your final grade is looking like in the class. That way you can assess then whether or not it's worth it for you to do the extra credit assignment. I'm going to click on this and you'll see all of the instructions are here, and then you're going to submit your paper to turn it in. It's telling me that there's an error here right now because I'm the instructor and I have this set for student view, but you should be able to turn in your paper just fine. So go ahead and read the instructions when you get a chance. Basically, I'm asking you guys to pretend as though you were a consultant to the Trump administration and you're writing kind of a policy memo brief with a series of recommendations on January 15th, 2020. This is before we knew that there were any confirmed cases of coronavirus in the United States. So your policy recommendations should be as comprehensive as possible. I've listed out some things that you probably want to address, but this is just something to build off of. You want to try to come up with additional policy recommendations. I've also linked here 2 articles that I think you'll find really useful that will help you a lot in this. And then you just need to write your policy recommendation as a paper, and it's a minimum of 500 words. And in addition to that, you want to use 3 credible sources and make sure that you have a bibliography at the end of your policy recommendation. Okay. Note, this is worth 5% of your overall grade. So if you do this extra credit assignment, keep in mind, I'm only going to give you credit for it if you put forth, a decent amount of effort and do it correctly, but presumably you'll get a 5% boost to your final grade for completing this extra credit assignment. And then you'll also have that opportunity to complete the second extra credit assignment towards the end of the semester that I will post probably sometime in May. So this should help you a lot if you're worried that reading responses are going to make up a large percentage of your grade. This is one way to ensure that you still get the grade that you want in my class. The last thing I wanted to show you guys is I've had a few students reach out to me about the election, I'm sorry. It's been a long day. I've had a few students reach out to me about the elections module and the discussion outline that corresponds with that. At the end of the discussion outline, I ask you to make recommendations, I think, for Mark Takano, and specifically act as though you are his campaign manager. So you have to specify how much money he needs to raise in order to win a seat in the House of Representatives and what he should spend that money on. So here are 2 additional sources that I think you'll find really useful, really helpful in answering this discussion outline question. This first website is called opensecrets.org. This is where you can find all the campaign finance information you ever wanted to know. So if I just click on menu right here, I can click on congressional elections, and I can actually search for candidates. In other words, people who have run for the House of Representatives in the past. So I just typed in Mark Takano, right? If you guys live in Riverside, he is your House of Representative member. And look, there's already some information on his 2020 race. So here we can look at how much money he's raised, how much money he's spent, how much money his opponent has raised, how much they've spent, so on and so forth. If I click on 2018, Mark Takano, I can see that he raised $1 million and won in that election. And he won by 65% of the vote. What's really cool is if I click on his name, there's all of this information here. Industries that contribute the most amount of money. So see here, this company, Keller and Anderlill, donated the most amount of money to him, right? I can look at when he's run for Congress in the past, whether or not he self-finances his campaigns at all, so on and so forth. So in terms of finances, this is a really useful resource. And then secondly, a lot of you guys probably have no idea what it means to work on a campaign, of course. So I think that this documentary with Katie Hill in it will be really useful to you. Katie Hill ran for Congress in 2018 and successfully won. I think she was only 30 years old when she entered the race. She's not a House of Representative member now. She had to step down. I won't explain why. I'll let you Google that yourself. However, Vice did a 4-part series on her running for Congress. And you wouldn't have to watch all of these videos, but just watching 1 or 2 of them may be really helpful. It's a behind the scenes look of what it really means to run for Congress, what it really means to run a campaign. Okay, so I think this will be another resource for you that will be really helpful in answering that last question. Okay, so let me know if you guys have any questions at all. I hope you're surviving online education. Feel free to add a comment or question to this announcement, and I'll try to get you an answer and respond to you as quickly as possible. Maybe some other students may be able to respond to you and help you out even sooner, though. All right, I'll talk to you guys later.